A national fraternity has adopted a new policy for all chapters. Tonight, Ball State's chapter responds.
Indiana and Michigan Power wants to raise its rates. Customers have always opposed, and now an Indiana state official is weighing in.
It's feeling quite cold out there this evening. Wind chills making it feel even cooler. I'll let you know how low we'll get in the temperature column coming up in the full forecast.
From Ball State Unified Media, this is NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and welcome to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Tyler Brummett.
And I'm Samantha Ersman. Thanks for joining us. Indiana Michigan Power customers might see some relief from the price hike. This will only happen if they follow recommendations from the State Office of Utility Consumers Council. The OUCC represents the interests of Indiana Power consumers. They recommend that I&M gets less than half of their requested rate increase. The group filed testimony with the commission to limit the increase to $125 million. Originally, I&M asked for more than $263 million, increasing consumers' bills to as much as $26. Here's a full list of all of OUCC's recommendations. Some of those include limiting the increase for flat monthly charge to only $1, reducing line items for the utilities' operating expenses, and shortening the depreciation periods for new meters and units. You can find that full list on ballstatedaily.com.
More than half of Hoosiers feel that corporations aren't paying their fair share when it comes to taxes. That's according to a new Old National Bank and Ball State University survey released Thursday. About 54% of Hoosiers also don't think the wealthy are paying enough. Also, according to the survey, 23% of Indiana taxpayers itemize deductions, which is less than 30% who do nationally. However, Hoosiers are not upset about the state's 10-cent per gallon tax increase on gas. Nearly 6 in 10 approved of the fees to pay for road maintenance.
Vice President Mike Pence is in Plainfield tonight talking about the Republican effort to overhaul the tax code. In a roundtable discussion, he says the tax reform would be, quote, nothing short of a middle-class miracle. During his speech, he highlights 3 different areas of the tax code President Trump is trying to change. This includes putting more money in working families' pockets, lowering corporation tax rate, and simplifying the tax code from 7 brackets to 3. Pence says Republicans are trying to advance tax relief to create a sustained growth in the economy. Senate Republicans released their tax plan today, making some changes from the plan House Republicans previously laid out, including the number of tax brackets and differences on how to change the corporate tax rate. Omar Jimenez breaks down that plan and what's next for the tax reform.
As the House moves forward on taxes,
it takes time, but trust me, we're going to get this over the finish line.
The race to a finish line on reform now shifts to the Senate. Among the major points in their new plan, a full repeal of the state and local tax deduction, a child tax credit almost matching the House around $1,600, and a 1-year phase-in of a 20% corporate tax, a period that's crucial budget-wise, but a timeline the White House has opposed. Senate Democrats also weighing in on the overall effort.
Like the House bill, it will favor the big wealthy corporations, wealthy individuals, and do harm or nothing much for the middle class.
But for the GOP, the stakes are high. Coming off the heels of a Democratic wave of election victories Tuesday night, Senate Republicans may not be able to afford going 0 for 2 on major policy heading into the 2018 midterms.
Well,
should Republicans be worried?
Yeah, if we don't produce. I think the antidote to our problems are success legislatively. If we can cut taxes for people in a way they feel it, if we can repair a broken healthcare system that does a better job taking care of people, then we'll get rewarded.
And the White House making their position clear.
If they show that taxes are going up on the middle class, on the House plan, on the Senate plan, on some combination of the two, we won't sign it.
Looking ahead, the House Ways and Means Committee will now move to a floor vote, and the Senate will head for committee consideration as early as Monday. In Washington, I'm Omar Jimenez reporting.
All right, and moving on to weather. Tyler, the last couple weeks have been a little bit warmer, but I noticed today it started to cool down just a little bit. Honestly, I'm a little bit ready for the cold weather as we're kind of coming into Thanksgiving and the holiday season. What about you?
Yeah, same here. Personally, I like the fact that it's starting to feel a little bit like November. Joe, tell us, is this weather going to continue in the days ahead?
Yeah, definitely a change from what we've seen recently. We have wind chill temperatures right now sitting in the upper 20s, actually, as a cold front sits across the state of Indiana, bringing this northerly cool air into our area. Currently in Muncie, it is 37 degrees with winds again out of the north at 13 miles per hour. We're going to see winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour today, which is really going to bring that cold air in here and lead to a frigid Friday. That's our first headline for tonight. A frigid Friday is on the way. Be prepared, bundle up as you head out for class tomorrow. We'll take a look at your weekend outlook, and we also have some more rain back in the forecast. We'll talk about that coming up.
Show the National Fraternity of Sigma Phi Epsilon is calling for a ban on alcohol. This new policy would affect all chapters of the fraternity, including the one right here on Ball State's campus.
NewsLink's Zoe Dwiggins is live in the newsroom with more. Zoe?
The announcement came earlier today on Sigma Phi Epsilon's national website. All chapters of the fraternity are no longer allowed to have alcohol in their houses. This will go into effect August 1st of 2018. Part of the policy requires the houses to be completely substance-free for 2 years, and in their statement, the national headquarters says they chose to shut down the chapters due to, quote, risky behavior fueled by alcohol consumption over the past 10 years. They also say they've seen a 46% increase in liability insurance premiums since 2014. This comes just weeks after all 13 Ball State fraternities were put on social probation. Ball State Chapter President Jay Franco says chapter delegates voted on the bylaw this summer. Franco told NewsLink, quote, SIGEP decided to be leaders in the IFC community and be among the first to pledge substance-free housing in an effort to better Greek life in campuses around the nation. Franco also says there are approximately 221 SIGEP chapters across the United States. Live in the newsroom, Zoe DeWiggins, NewsLink, Indiana.
Thank you, Zoe. The Multicultural Center hosted a documentary showing followed by a discussion on a controversial term. NewsLink Indiana's Joel Riley has the story.
The Washington Redskins were established in 1932, and with recent disagreement with the team's name, Ball State's Multicultural Center hosted a special screening of More Than a Word. Directed by John and Kenneth Little, this documentary focuses on the Washington football team and the use of the derogatory term Redskins. Ball State freshman Amari Brown said that it's time for it to stop.
I think racial terms and slurs honestly are wrong altogether. I feel like nobody should be categorized by what they are or their native background or native tongue or anything of that nature, or skin color especially.
Julia Carino says the biggest lesson she learned was that she never knew about this issue until now.
I really had no background knowledge, and I guess growing up I never even realized that this was an issue. That these teen names never really stuck out to me because it was something so normalized, and something that is a racial slur should not be normalized. And I think that was one of the biggest things that I took away from today.
Julia also agreed with Amari in saying that it was time for this issue to stop as well.
As a minority, I think that racial slurs are far too normalized, and just hearing them so easily thrown into conversation, it's like people don't realize what they're saying.
The Multicultural Center plans to host more events and show more documentaries to better educate students with stereotypes and racial slurs. In Muncie, Joel Riley, NewsLink, Indiana.
The next event the Multicultural Center will be hosting is its Kwanzaa celebration in December. The Institute for College Access and Success says Indiana ranks number 20 for highest tuition debt. The average Indiana graduate has more than $29,000 in student loan debt. Ball State was ranked as the 6th highest for graduate debt out of 12 public universities. The average Cardinal carries more than $27,000 in debt. Indiana Northwest ranked first in the state with an average debt load just under $30,000.
Textbooks contribute to some of that debt, but some students aren't just reading books, they're learning how to make them.
And while some are making books, others are bringing back memories with a popular medium. We'll have those stories after the break.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I've just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Muncie is home to the country's oldest continuing operating letterpress.
NewsLink's Mary Eber explores how students and community members are getting involved in this timeless craft.
Letterpress and bookbinding are not common practices today, but Book Arts Collaborative in downtown Muncie offers students and community members a chance to step into the past. Colleen Steffen works alongside 3 Ball State faculty members. She teaches the history of printing and journalism.
We're using 150-year-old type, we're using 120-year-old presses. It's amazing. It's a cool way to learn about journalism history hands-on.
The class works alongside Kim Miller, owner of Tribune Showprint Posters. Students sell their work at Tribune and all the proceeds go towards the course to cover materials.
Inside the building is a very tight-knit community, so we all help each other and, love coming up with ideas like how can we take this out to the community and really help them as well.
One of the ways students get involved in the community is by hosting workshops. This week, students in Steffen's class taught 3rd graders from Inspire Academy how to make journals. The students hand-sewed the journals to use in class for a nature project. Students also host workshops that are open to the community. Holly Westerfield is a junior at Ball State University and enjoys volunteering and teaching others the craft.
Building things with your hands, like artisan sort of creations, I think those are really important skills for people to have. It makes you a more well-rounded person.
Upcoming events include Christmas card making and travel journal and scrapbook workshops. In Muncie, Mary Eber, NewsLink, Indiana.
For more information on upcoming events, you can visit www.bookartcollaborative.com. A Ball State group is helping a local nursing home with the sound of music. NewsLink Indiana's Madeline Bouldery has the story.
A Night to Remember is what some Ball State students are proposing, while every week these same students are using music to help local nursing home residents bring back and maintain their memory. Ball State's Music and Memory organization twice a week are not only bringing music to the residents, but they also are bringing one-on-one time to help residents feel connected with the students who volunteer.
Well, we see a bunch of powerful effects. If somebody's really shut down and kind of in the fog of Alzheimer's, we can put some headphones on them, and usually they come alive.
This not only benefits the residents in ways people have to see to believe, but also brings benefits to the students who volunteer.
They really enjoy it, I think, and I enjoy going. I think it's helped me grow as a person.
A Night to Remember is their annual fundraiser featuring local talent from the area and on campus. This fundraiser is to help Music and Memory fund music players and the music they have to buy to provide individual playlists for the residents.
It's a variety show featuring some of the top student acts at Ball State. We have the a cappella troops, we have some dance acts, we have comedy acts, we just have a fun night of entertainment, and it's all for a very cool cause.
Music and Memory through music changes the lives and improves the quality of life to these residents. Reporting in Muncie, Madeline Boldry, NewsLink, Indiana.
A Night to Remember is Wednesday, November 15th at Pruce Hall at 7 at night. Tickets are $3 and donations are welcome.
And Joe, what's coming up in weather?
We have cold temperatures on the way. Over the next 6 hours, we'll see temperatures dip down into the upper 20s. We'll see temperatures in the mid-20s for the low tonight. Stay tuned for the full forecast after the break.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
And welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. You know, Sam, we've kind of been talking about this. It feels like that the topic of conversation when it comes to the weather is that it's been cold out there.
Honestly, I haven't felt that cold personally, but I'm expecting it to get a little bit chillier. Joe, what can we expect on that front?
Yeah, cold temperatures are on the way. They've already started. We were in the mid-70s, or excuse me, around 70 to start last weekend, and we've dipped down into the upper 30s now. Let's check that out. Current temperatures across the state sitting in the low 30s. We have temperatures 33 degrees in Lafayette, 34 out in Champaign, and now this is combined with wind chill temperatures in the mid to upper 20s, 29 degrees in Kokomo, 24 in Lafayette, 24 degrees in Champaign, and you can see there's a difference between the wind chill temperatures in the upper 30s to the mid and upper 20s. That's because a cold front is currently positioned across the state of Indiana. They're bringing this cool air in. We'll see these wind chill temperatures dip down as we head through the day tomorrow. Currently in Muncie, it is 37 degrees with winds out of the north at 13 miles per hour, and that northerly wind is what's bringing these cold temperatures in here. We'll see wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour tonight to really bring that cold air in and keep these temperatures low. Now let's transition to our temperature departures here. This is a depiction of how above or below average we will be over the next 7 days. The average temperature for November is 50 degrees. You can see we are going to be well below average Friday and Saturday, 17 degrees below average tomorrow. But we will see temperatures kick back up around average as we head into next week. As you wake up tomorrow, you're going to need to bundle up. As you're heading out to class tomorrow, we'll have wind chills in the low teens. It's going to be feeling very cold out there, and it's going to only warm up in the wind chill category to around the 20s, and we'll see the temperatures tomorrow only in the mid-30s. So it's a very cold one out there. We're talking about a frigid Friday. You definitely want to be prepared as you head out the door. For tonight, we'll see temperatures drop down to 24 degrees. It'll be clear and cold. Again, those winds out of the north gusting to 20 miles per hour, bringing that cold air in here. For tomorrow, we'll see temperatures top out around 33 degrees. It'll be mostly sunny, but again, quite cold. Definitely the coldest day of the season thus far. Precision cast timing out. We'll see some clouds around tomorrow morning, but as those clouds move out, that'll allow for high pressure and clear skies to make the temperatures drop pretty low. We won't see clouds back around in the forecast until about middle of the day on Saturday, which is going to move in ahead of a cold front, ahead of our next rain chances, which will be in the area on Sunday. So summarizing your weekend for you briefly, we'll have temperatures around 40 degrees on Saturday, partly cloudy, and again, still feeling pretty cold on Saturday. And for Sunday, we'll have rain likely, temperatures 45 degrees, and again, that 70% chance of rain as a cold front makes its way through. For your 7-day forecast, again, a cold weekend on the way, 70% chance of rain on Sunday. Not too bad for your Veterans Day on Saturday. Dry conditions start out your week next week before another disturbance makes its way into the forecast area on Wednesday, bringing rain back into play. But the big story, again, is those cold temperatures. It feels cold out there. I'm just ecstatic about it.
Personally, I think the biggest takeaway was the fact that we all need our winter coats. We got to bring that back out.
Absolutely. You need to be prepared. These are cold, almost dangerously cold temperatures out there, so definitely be prepared as you're heading out the door tomorrow.
All right, Joe, thank you so much.
All right, and Ben, what do we have coming up in sports?
Well, we have an update on Ball State's football game against Northern Illinois, and we're going to give you a preview of men's basketball season opener tomorrow at Dayton.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Cook foods to the right temperature using a food thermometer. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but things changed. Teaching didn't seem that cool anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Amazing things are happening in teaching, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Ben Sherman with sports. The Ball State basketball team will kick off their season tomorrow when they begin their non-conference schedule at Dayton. NewsLink Indiana's Kara Biernat has the story.
The Ball State men's basketball team will see a unique schedule this season that requires quite the amount of traveling. As the team prepares for their season opener, they are more than ready for the challenge.
The biggest challenge of our non-conference schedule is probably the travel. There aren't many college teams that are going to travel as far as we are. Go from here to Oklahoma to back to Oregon to Philadelphia to back, all in the month of November, and that's going to take its toll on us. And again, we're going to have to handle it right. Make sure I give them enough rest, make sure we rehydrate, eat right, get enough sleep to let their bodies recharge. And then you have a challenge of a very difficult schedule of not getting too high when you win a big game. And you know what, not getting too down if you have one or two not go your way. Just be consumed with the process of getting better.
During this tough non-conference schedule, Ball State will travel more than 7,500 miles in their first 15 days of the regular season. In this stretch, they will face 6 teams, 5 of who have competed in the NCAA tournament in just the last 2 years. The team will open its season against Dayton and then will begin play in ESPN's Phil Knight tournament. There they will see Oklahoma, Stony Brook, Oregon, and Bucknell.
The biggest thing is it's just tougher opponents. It's really a schedule we haven't really ever had since I've been here. I think as long as we take it the right way, I think it's going to prepare us, for our conference schedule and give us the best chance, to play well down the stretch.
The team will travel to Dayton, Ohio on November 10th for a 7 p.m. tip-off. In Muncie, Kara Biernat, NewsLink, Indiana.
The team's non-conference schedule includes 13 games and will go through the end of December. We shift over to the gridiron as the Ball State Cardinals are in Northern Illinois tonight, taking on the Huskies. The winner of tonight's game takes home the coveted Bronze Stalk Trophy. Northern Illinois leads the series 8-1 since the rivalry became a trophy series in 2008. Northern Illinois scored a touchdown on their opening possession and have been rolling since. The Huskies hold a 35-7 lead over the Cardinals at the half. Marcus Childers leads NIU, completing 8 of 16 passes for 107 yards and tossing 3 touchdowns. Drew Plitt leads Ball State, having 9 completions in 14 attempts with 89 passing yards and a touchdown through the air. Northern Illinois' defense has stifled Ball State, holding the Cardinals' offense to 92 total yards. And finally, Indianapolis Colts released two-time Pro Bowl cornerback Vontae Davis today after he complained to the media about losing his starting job. The Colts also signed former Ball State wide receiver Kevon Mabon to the practice squad. And a final score update for the Ball State Northern Illinois game. Northern Illinois is up 49-14 in the third quarter right now.
Ooh. Yeah.
That is rough.
Yeah, that's a little rough. But how about we talk about the Colts a little bit? I know Vontae Davis, it's just unfortunate to hear what's happening with him.
It is, and actually I saw a stat today that the Colts defense, since their opening game in 2016, none of the players that started the opening game are actually on the team. Colts are just going through major changes and can expect some more in the coming weeks and the offseason.
Yeah, it's been a rough season. Ben, thank you. Scandal rocks another TV show's cast.
And we've got that and more in our trending segment.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. Let's take a look at some things that are trending now.
Katie, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, good evening. First up, not one, but two women have accused Gossip Girl star Ed Westwick of sexual assault. In a Facebook post Wednesday, former actress Ariel Wynn said Westwick raped her in 2014. She described the incident and said it happened at a home that the actor was renting. The accusation comes several days after another actress, Christina Cohen, made a claim of sexual assault against Westwick. The actor denied Cohen's accusation in posts on both Twitter and Instagram, but has not responded to the recent claims.
Yeah, that's just really disappointing.
Absolutely.
And just
but
sad.
I think really with recent women coming forward with a lot of issues like this, I do think it's kind of put a light on a lot more women feeling comfortable, well, men and women feeling comfortable coming forward and talking about this. So
exactly, and this is a sensitive topic, but I think that it needs to be talked about.
All right.
And next up, a man says he made it through the TSA and onto his flight with the wrong plane ticket. Ed Davis, a former police officer, says that American Airlines issued him the wrong ticket but had no idea it was incorrect. Davis was flying to Chicago to be with his sick mother-in-law and didn't see that the ticket handed to him wasn't his, but get this, it was another man with the same last name. He said he was cleared by the TSA with no issues and even boarded the plane. The other Davis boarded the plane, took his seat, and Ed Davis was removed from the plane. The TSA released a statement saying it's conducting an internal review of the incident to make sure this won't happen again.
Yeah, that just sounds like a nightmare.
How crazy is that?
That is amazing that it got past that far.
I know, I think they need to be a little bit more careful in the future and really make sure that they don't do that again, because that could have been horribly.
All right.
Absolutely.
Katie, thank you so much. Joe, how about one final check of that weather?
Cold temperatures coming in tomorrow from a strong cold front that's going to make its way through here. We'll see rain chances on Sunday and then dry conditions to start off the work week before more rain next Wednesday.
All right, Joe, thank you so much. And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to watch tomorrow night at 9 right here on Cardinal Vision or online at ballstatedaily.com.
And be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a good night.